This is part 2 regarding cloning centers. In the part 1, I just finished about 15 minutes ago. I mentioned that the Illuminati means people who've had contact. The more contact, it's a generalization, but the more contact you've had, the more involved with the Illuminati you are. As a general rule, it's not hard and fast. Quality is more important than quantity sometimes. So in that last video, I mentioned, that not everyone is chosen. That, I'm not trying to make it sound like the highest honor in the world. Whether it is or isn't is a matter of opinion, I suppose. Then I came across this after I made the video. If you've been awakened, it is because you've been chosen to awaken. Be grateful, not everyone will be chosen. It's not exactly subtle, is it? And I didn't seek that out, I found it. At that perfect time. So, I think some ideas are worth pondering, and that concept right there is worth pondering. It's like if you pray. And people used to say, oh, I pray and God doesn't answer. But then they'd say God works in mysterious ways, which means, usually meant something negative. That's the connotation that it was given by people in the general understanding. But that's just how I saw it being portrayed in the general understanding. So I may be wrong there. But when I think of, God moves in mysterious ways, or the Lord moves in mysterious ways, or when I hear that, I think of God answering prayers. And I think that what we pray for, what we truly want, has a lot to do with whether our prayers are answered and why they're answered. And I'm not saying you got to be altruistic all the time. If I said I'm altruistic all the time, I'd be at some, at some levels that I'd be kidding myself, Sometimes I'm selfish, and what I believe is best for the greater good is often so controversial that even if there were studies backing it up as being, some of the greatest ideas in the world, which there are, reminds me of the movie Inferno. It's funny how the guy in the beginning of that movie was walking with his head backwards, which is symbolic of a soothsayer, but he also looks like Thoth. Funny, since I taught Dan, and that's my magic square, my calling card, something to that effect. Alright, so the last video ended off at gender. So I'm going to first give a caution, do as I say if you want to follow my advice or learn from me. Before you do as I do, you should just consider what it is that you think you want to do, because I'm not sure that anyone knows what I do, including me. And that's not likely to change for a while. A couple months. Anyway. So, gender. When my older daughter was born, I held the mother. Her name's Wendy. I held Wendy very tight while she gave birth. And, she's 6 foot tall, strong Russian stock, as they say, or an Amazon woman would be fairly accurate. I mean, that chick would kick your ass, most likely, If she had any proper form to her fighting, she would probably beat up most dudes, like, for reals. She pretty much dominates other chicks, I'm sure. Positive. But when she was giving birth, I held her, I hugged her the entire time, and the woman who delivered our daughter, Maya, said, I've never seen anything like that in my, career of delivering babies. And I'd say something happened to me. I wish I could ask Wendy about it again, but we had a falling out. Many falling outs, but I don't have money yet. The world has seen fit to keep me poor. So that's usually the only way men get to stay relevant to women or to the world, is through money, usually. So it's a little sadness on my part. Not trying to unload on you. But the point is that that's a woman's world. Women's world is the world of giving birth. And giving birth is serious. Serious. Serious is where ISIS is from. They say the land of the gods, but I'm pretty convinced it's, maybe it's just my way of thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, but I see it as the land of the goddess, the land of ISIS, and the UFO, which I've spent a lot of time with, and its inhabitants as well. So, women are part of a world men can't understand, no matter how gay they are. Or maybe to some extent they're able to be let into that world a little bit. Basically, if you've seen women cackle, a group of women cackling, then women, the goddess, have seen fit to have you see, what they're like when they're just being themselves. But talking about, makeup and what people think is girl stuff is, in my opinion, not what women are about. It's just how they entertain themselves. So when a woman gives birth, wait, let me think. Does this have anything to do with cloning centers? Or Or is that the whole point, that women are the cloning centers? I can't really give much background on myself. I don't feel like there's any point. I mean, I used to make videos. This is relevant. I used to make videos. I mean, I made a lot. And I know view counts can be altered, but like my highest view count on this channel with my, 40 videos I made in the past 5 days or so, is like 50, I think. Like not even 50. And yeah, it's a new channel. But I've been sharing videos for years, a few years. And last year, 2 years ago, 2018, I had some videos that got like 1,600 views. That's a lot, for... I mean, I'm happy with that, I don't need tens of thousands of views. I want to feel like I'm making an impact, and that's like a sweet spot, Between 1 and 2,000. 14 to 1,600. I feel pretty good about. Because of my UFO experiences, I was told in early 2018 that they might let me be rich, but they'd never let me be famous. And I would say, who is they? But I guess we know now, don't we? The Illuminati, the technocrats. I still say the technocrats are my wives for the most part. And I don't know what they're... I know when they're doing something because everything's different. If I hadn't been exercising this past 6 days, I would have felt this past 6 days differently. So usually, like, when there's spirits and ghosts and my wives really actively like with me and interacting with me, I can usually feel them and hear them in the room. There'll be cracks on the wall and things fall down. I mean, poltergeist activity, I mean, it's real enough that a lot of times when they show up, my daughter and her mom leave the room. You understand? Like, I feel that I feel them arrive, and, Dawn knows me. Like I said, on 2018 Easter, she was like, you're either Jesus or Lucifer, and I'm scared either way. And she left for 5 days, and I went through some wicked paranormal stuff. Not wicked, but like extreme, So, and she's been with me through this whole Ella situation and all of whatever this all is. It's just the wind. I saw a light up there like a portal. Maybe they haven't given me some space because I've been working out, and they're happy, that I'm doing something positive for myself, because they know how much I suffer. Suffering is a funny word, you're right. But like I can feel like something, like when they pull back, they come back stronger and more confident. They being really the goddess. I've tried telling her she's good enough as she is and that I love her. And I think the trouble a goddess has always had is vanity. I'm trying to decide if I should cut my beard. I want to look good too, you know. I just don't have as many tools at my disposal as she does to do so, maybe. So, that world, you know, the duality and all that, when I was holding her while she gave birth, I felt something. I felt something profound, something that felt like it pulled me in a little bit. You know, like, too close to the black hole, you know, and it took some of me with it. Yeah, so when talking with birth, the black hole is the vagina, I get it. That's not how I mean it. Is it? Yeah, it is how I mean it, actually. It's the meaning. When she was pregnant, when Wendy was pregnant with Maya, I saw a dragon every time I closed my eyes. And this dragon was clearly formed. It wasn't like a sloppy vision or like something that changed every time. It was the same vision every time. It was the same vision every time. And it happened every time I closed my eyes. I worked third shift at a factory to keep a roof over our heads, and things went really bad. We had no heat. We were at Hampton Beach. We had no heat. We had a heater the size of a space heater in the living room. No storm windows. This was a summer rental that we were renting in the middle of the winter. And the weather coming off, the wind coming off the ocean, whipped through those windows like the windows weren't there. I put blankets, mattresses, box springs, everything there to try to break the wind from coming through the friggin' windows. It was having its way with us, and we were freezing. And she was pregnant. My God. So, at any rate, we survived that ordeal. And my daughter was born healthy, happy, on leap year, which is the day that the Thoth calendar first has, any record of. It was the Thoth calendar. I won a game of chess against a baboon to get that 1/4 of a day every 3 years or 4 years or something. That's the story. And I was on house arrest until Elijah Cummings died. So he must be the monkey or the baboon that I beat. But Maya was on the front page of the newspapers the next day, and it said Maya Jade enters exclusive club. So she's a really remarkable child. The rest of the family is a bunch of liberal idiots. So, until she grows up, starts looking at the facts of things, I've lost her. Is sad. But her mom got that tattoo of the vision that I kept having, and it was like a she-devil. It was like a she-devil. And I knew when Maya turned 18, she was going to do something stupid. And she contributed to me being disarmed based on stupidity.